The rift in relations between Canada and the United States is being further exposed at the World Economic Forum in Davos.
Canada gets a lot of freebies from us, by the way. They should be grateful also, but they're not. I watch you.
When we're Canadian, inclusive, fair, ambitious.
Prime Minister yesterday, he wasn't so grateful. But they should be grateful to us. Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that, Mark, the next time you make your statements.
Canada doesn't live because of the United States. Canada thrives because we are Canadian.
Canada might not survive. That was the chilling warning Donald Trump just issued to the world. Following a heated clash with Mark Carney at Davos, the message from the U.S. leadership was clear. If trade wars begin, the northern neighbor will collapse. But they are missing the bigger picture. While Washington focuses on tariffs and military budgets, they are ignoring a terrifying geographic reality. The common belief is that America creates a protective umbrella over Canada. But the truth? It's actually Canada that has its hand on America's throat. Today, we are looking past the headlines. We are ignoring the military stats. Because Canada possesses 3 specific geographic kill switches from the Great Lakes to the Arctic that could bring the United States to its knees without firing a single bullet. Most Canadians don't even realize they have this power, but by the end of this video, you'll understand why the world's superpower is actually a hostage to its quiet neighbor.
This is Canada. People always think that America is like Canada's big brother, always protecting it. But the real story is completely different. Even though the US has a population 10 times bigger than Canada's, a military budget 15 times larger, and the world's biggest economy, geography works by a completely different logic. It doesn't care about military power or economy. The truth is, Canada has 3 geographic advantages that could bring America straight to its knees, without firing a single bullet, without any war. The most interesting thing is that most Canadians themselves don't even realize how much power they have, and that's exactly why they've never used it. Make sure to watch this video till the end, because today you're going to see North America from a perspective you've never seen before. Let's start with the most dangerous power, water. Canada holds 20% of the world's total fresh water, more than any other country. Now, think about how dangerous this is for America, because the Great Lakes system, which provides drinking water to around 40 million Americans, flows through Canada. Picture it like this: Lake Superior, Lake Huron, Lake Erie. All of these lakes are connected to Canadian territory. Not only that, the St. Lawrence Seaway, which carries this water to the Atlantic Ocean, passes through Quebec, and it doesn't stop there. The Niagara River, connecting Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, is right on the Canadian border. The Detroit River, linking Lake Huron and Lake Erie, is also on the Canadian border. And this isn't just about drinking water, it's far more serious. The Great Lakes system isn't only a water source. This water also powers hydroelectric plants that supply electricity to millions of Americans. It's the same shipping route that carries iron ore from Minnesota to steel plants in Pennsylvania, meaning if Canada ever decided to control the flow of water from its territory, it could shut down America's steel production, cut off power to major cities, and trigger the biggest water crisis in U.S. history. But here's what terrifies Pentagon planners the most. America couldn't do anything about it. You can't just invade Canada to secure water rights. The 2 countries share a 5,500-mile-long border, longer than the distance from New York to London, and much of it runs through wilderness that would make Afghanistan look like a parking lot. In short, the entire American industrial heartland depends on water that comes from a country America can neither control nor conquer. This is one of geography's biggest truths. Canada holds America's most vital resource hostage, and the US can do nothing except make sure Canada stays friendly. But this is just the beginning. The real game is in energy. Today, Canada supplies America with 20% of its total electricity, enough power to run the entire state of California, all coming from Canada. And here's where geography gets even more interesting. This power comes from hydroelectric dams in Quebec and British Columbia, and all that energy flows south into American cities through a handful of transmission lines, crossing at specific border points that geography itself has predetermined. This means Canada could, with just a few flipped switches, plunge the entire northeastern United States into blackout. But it doesn't stop there. The real danger lies in energy. Canada is currently America's largest oil supplier, sending around 4 million barrels a day through pipelines that run from Alberta to refineries in Texas, Illinois, and Oklahoma. Now, here's the geographic choke point that should terrify every American. A large share of this oil flows through a single pipeline system known as Enbridge, meaning if Canada ever shut down the Enbridge pipeline, U.S. gas prices would double overnight, and the entire American economy would literally grind to a halt. But the real fear starts here. Canada's entire energy infrastructure is designed to flow south, and the biggest reason for that is geography. Half of Canada is covered by the Canadian Shield, a massive granite formation that creates natural barriers, funneling all energy southward toward the U.S. border. And now, we come to Canada's most dangerous geographic advantage, one that almost no one talks about, the Arctic. Yes, because of climate change, Arctic ice is melting rapidly, opening up new shipping routes in the Arctic Ocean that could soon become the world's most important trade highways. These new sea routes could fast-track trade between Asia and Europe, especially the Northwest Passage, an Arctic shipping route that connects the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean and passes entirely through Canadian territorial waters. This means Canada has the power, in the future, to monopolize Asia-Europe trade and shut America out of the world's most lucrative shipping lanes. But the Arctic's geography doesn't stop there. The real game is in resources. Beneath the Arctic Ocean lie about 13% of the world's undiscovered oil and 30% of its natural raw reserves. And most of these can be accessed by land only through Canada, which means, as the ice melts, Canada will gain exclusive access to some of the largest untapped energy reserves on the planet. And this Arctic region isn't just about oil and gas. It has already become the new battlefield for global power competition. Russia is rapidly building military bases along its Arctic coastline. China has invested billions of dollars into Arctic shipping, and for America, the Arctic's strategic importance is now more critical than ever. But here's geography's biggest truth. In this entire Arctic theater, Canada holds unmatched geographic leverage. Power not just to control energy, but also to outmaneuver the U.S. in shipping and military strategy. Canada has the chance to become the gatekeeper of the Arctic, a position that could quietly make it the most powerful country in North America, without firing a single shot. But Canada's real trump card isn't just the Arctic, it's minerals. Canada holds massive reserves of lithium, cobalt, nickel, and rare earth elements, all critical for electric car batteries, solar panels, and wind turbines. As America shifts toward renewable energy, it is becoming entirely dependent on these Canadian minerals. Here's where geography adds another dangerous twist. Most of these minerals are located in Canada's extreme north, remote regions that are nearly impossible to defend or invade. China understands this all too well, which is why it has already invested billions of dollars into Canadian mining projects, buying mineral rights and building infrastructure that would allow these resources to be shipped directly to Asia via Arctic routes. This means Canada could one day wake up and realize it holds the materials that power the entire global economy. And the scariest part for America, Canada doesn't need any U.S. permission to sell those minerals to China. And if America ever tried to pressure Canada, for example, to stop exporting minerals to China, Canada holds an economic arsenal that could bring the U.S. to its knees. Canada could simply cut off water, energy, and Arctic access, and America would be left literally powerless. So next time someone says that America protects Canada, remember, geography tells a very different story. Canada controls America's water, its energy, its Arctic access, and its critical minerals, which means America's future is in Canada's hands. And perhaps Canada itself doesn't fully realize it, but geography never lies. In the game of global power, the one who controls the resources controls the future. America may have the bigger military, but Canada has something far more powerful: geography. If you always thought of Canada as just a friendly neighbor, maybe now you'll think again.